For those that are wondering, we were
SAT.
thinking about not playing the debate. We decided to because Zoran Mamdani may end up the leader of the Democratic Party. It's not a joke or an exaggeration. His popularity in New York is skyrocketing. You're going to have a Senate race coming up. He may very well try to rocket himself to the front of the Democratic Party. AOC can't do it. He's a guy. He might be able to.
Do you not think women are capable of anything men can do while wearing heels? I don't.
When AOC came out of that rally with, what was her name, like Bowman or whatever, and she was going, wow, wow, wow. I was like, that raspy, high-pitched voice right away. Like,
sounds a little close to the SH word, bro.
Which one?
What's that?
Shrill. Sounds like you're calling her shrill. And I don't appreciate misogynistic
dog
dog.
raspy.
She's a nasty woman.
She's also.
Well, I mean,
I'm not a part of
listen,
this conversation.
There are, this is the leftist argument,
Ends me.
right? I'm going to be a leftist right now and say there is inherent sexism against women, and AOC is not going to be able to win. Look, I've done a nonprofit fundraising, and we talked about this all the time. I was on Schaub and Callan's podcast. I love this point. I'll ask you, Adam. There are two characteristics, each one unique to a man, to a woman, that ensures they will be excellent fundraisers. Among men, what do you think is the one characteristic that ensures they will be able to raise lots of money from the public?
They have to be independently successful with themselves.
No, that is completely irrelevant.
Height.
Yes, that is correct. Tall men, regardless of what they say, will make lots of money. Now, among women, there is one trait that ensures they will make lots of money from the public, and which would be?
Giant personalities.
If I'm reading the room properly, I think you're correct, but in layman's terms,
They have to look nice.
large knockers.
Yes.
So
Is that literally the
How
metric?
is that even provable?
So
Nancy Pelosi.
I will put it this way. I have worked in.
It's so offensive, but it's so true.
I have worked in several offices. I think probably 4 or 5 different fundraising offices. Some of these offices fundraised for multiple different companies. The one, and I was a manager and a director. And the one thing that was consistent across the board was that, like, I knew this one guy who was 6'5", dumb as a box of rocks. He would walk up to people and go, hey, like, trees make oxygen.
They thought they were being robbed.
No, they would just
like, all right, here's my
It was
checkbook.
women. It was all women. And they would give them their credit cards like that. And then the women with big boobs would walk up to guys, and the guys would hand over their credit cards. Then there were, like, your average person, and they would struggle. There was one guy I knew who was short and pudgy, who was really good, but he talked like Joe Pesci real quick. Like, come on, tell me. And then people would just be like
He
hypnotized.
had an oily charisma.
They're called short kings.
Indeed. So, he had the confidence and the aggression. But that's the point I'm making about AOC, is that there's something about leadership. You do not, tall, deep voices inspire people, and shrill voices do not. And this will always be a disadvantage for female candidates. So Zoran Mamdani has a very good chance, in my opinion, of being the leader of the Democratic Party within the next 4 years.
Well,
How
Zoran
tall is he,
is
though?
5'10". Does he make the cut?
Yes.
I mean, if he
Is he
wears
a
high
short king?
tops, yeah.
It doesn't matter, because Democrats are all like I describe the Democratic Party as like the Horde. So for those that are not familiar with Warcraft lore, the Alliance was like the kingdom of the humans, the elves, and they have like these big beautiful cities. And then the Horde was like degenerate random filth that came together just like because they had no choice. And so among Democrats, you'll find short, fat, like failure of individuals demanding everyone else pay for their stuff. So you don't need to be 6 foot tall. It helps. But Zoran is this smarmy, weaselly leftist. He has the best chance, in my opinion, among any emergent Democrat. When we talk about how they have no leadership and no backbench, Zoran is the front of that. And in fact, I would argue right now, Zoran is the best Democrat that exists for the party in terms of rallying potential and charisma. But he's a little early. So AOC has, 6-7 years behind her, affording her a lot more space. I don't see AOC ever being able to win a presidential race. Seriously, ever.
Not if she keeps putting on those
unless the Republican, unless there's just 2 women running, and then it's AOC versus another woman. Ugh. But Mamdani, especially with this, if he wins,
Harry's just like, ugh.
If Mamdani wins this race, and he likely will, he is going to be the leader of the Democratic Party.
Yeah, but he can't be the president because he wasn't born here. So
that's a good point. But
they'll try to change that.
They already are.
Well, I mean, if he becomes the leader of the Democrat Party, I mean, you need an amendment.
They'll just
No, but they override the process all the time. Like you have these judges who have no authority to tell Trump what he can and can't be doing.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but it'd be very difficult to come up with the method to actually override.
I disagree. They're going to go the Cenk Uygur route when he filed the suit and say that a person who is naturalized is a natural citizen. And that Cenk Uygur's argument, which is it's a decent argument if you're going to go this route, is that if someone becomes a citizen, they are a citizen in all rights and privileges. If the argument is that some citizens are more equal than others, then you have no equality under the law. And trust me, if the left wins and they take the Supreme Court, they are absolutely going to make that argument that you cannot have unequal citizenship.
You would need a new Supreme Court for that.
In fact, what the left would do is they would say no one who was born here can be president. It's time to step aside.
They would argue that if you're white, you can't be president because too many of them have been white, and that's not equality.
Exactly.
They would argue that it's inequality under the law to have only white presidents. Therefore, the next president has to be not white.
They kind of already do. Yeah, they kind of already do because they're like, well, our party can't nominate some other white guy. We've got too many white guys as
president. If Barack Obama is black, then they can also say that Barack Obama is white because he's half white. He's half black and half white. So if you can say he's black, you can also say he's white. So that means we have never had a black president. So now it's all white presidents. So it's only fair to have an actual
Everyone
black
pretty
president.
much assumes that the black overrides the white.
Well, only when it's convenient.
Right.
Only when it's convenient. And the Democrats have consistently used those kind of, or used things that are one way when it's convenient and then a different way when it's not convenient.
If you weren't born here, you shouldn't even be able to run for school board. In my opinion.
I agree.
Much less be a superintendent.
No,
I want to guys.
you should be able to be a cop.
We'll jump back to the debate, but I want to pull this up. This is from Steven Crowder. Hidden camera. Zohran Mamdani campaign citywide canvas director admits plan to force NYPD to defy ICE, make it harder to deport illegals, confesses coordinated socialist takeover of New York City, reveals the Democratic Socialists of America is the backbone of the Mamdani campaign. Quote, the thing that we really keyed in on was South Asian Muslim voters and getting them out to vote. We organize the mosques. We get the imams to tell people to go vote. We get young lesbian white women to give out flyers in a mosque. The people that I worked with on AOC's campaign are actually on Zohran's campaign. And then a couple of people I worked with on Jamal Bowman's campaign are actually on Zohran's campaign. The only thing Mamdani can do is stop the NYPD from helping ICE. He can go to the NYPD and be like, do not let them into the courthouses. So this is pretty intense because should Zohran Mamdani win, right? We are looking right now at this. There's a former federal prosecutor in Chicago interviewed about the allegations that ICE agents and DHS were defying court orders. And he said, we stand on the edge of a precipice staring into the abyss. If Trump starts defying the courts, we have no idea. It's going to be chaos. And that is exactly what they're already arguing has happened. And with the judges telling Trump to tear the DHS, take the barriers down, Trump can't deploy National Guard, and these massive, million-person marches planned for this weekend, it's going to get nuts. If Zohran Mamdani wins in New York, it is going to be another city that falls to what I would only describe as a non-American influence or under the control of a non-American entity.
Yeah. Well, and these people have nothing but criticism.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. We got sanctuary city policy. Pull this up.
Sure.
Assigned to every person who is undergoing any review by the federal government or any legal proceeding, and put the full weight of the city government behind it, and make sure they are legally protected.
Mr. Sliwa, what's your plan?
Look, going after the criminals, that's the job of Immigration and Naturalization Service, ICE. But when they have to perform under a quota, because I speak to many of the men and women who serve this country, it's putting too much pressure to go outside of courthouses, to go Home Depot, shape-ups, or the backs of restaurants,
New York
and
is gone.
hospitality businesses.
Yeah. Even their
which
right-wing
have hired
candidate is
these
saying,
migrants,
let
and they
illegal
are
immigrants
essential
stay.
workers now. I can tell you, I have 3 sons. None of them are going to do that work. Some Americans will. but most won't.
Sounds
like
We
you're a
need to
terrible
protect
father.
the migrants who are
That's
workers,
not like-
who are essential workers,
Like, my
and
kids
use
aren't doing
ICE
that
to
kind of
go
work. Are you
after
kidding
the
me?
drug
Look at the
dealers,
color of my
the
skin.
gangbangers,
Exactly.
the sexual
It's basically calling his sons
predators,
wimps. What's that
and those
about?
who are sex trafficking
Weird
and
comment.
involved
My
in
sons did better than you. They don't have to
Mr.
do that
Ramadan.
stuff.
Yeah.
Now, I'd be proud to be the first immigrant mayor of this city in generations. And it's at 26 Federal Plaza that I've seen what used to be moments when New Yorkers would be getting their citizenship turn into moments of tragedy, where judges are asking New Yorkers who are there for a routine immigration check-in whether they're prepared to leave in the very same clothes that they arrived to that courthouse. I agree that we need more legal representation. I also think we need to actually be able to stand up to Donald Trump, because I heard from Pastor in East Flatbush, Pastor Galbraith, who told me how he accompanied a member of his congregation to 26 Federal Plaza. He sat there as a judge was determining her fate. They managed to convince the judge to replace the deportation order with a TPS order, but they knew that ICE would not care about that change, and they had to sprint her out of the building, smuggling her into the elevator in order to get her back to Brooklyn.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.